Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Good morning, everyone. We're going to go through a really quick overview of the financial aid process, but it's really important to apply for financial aid even if you don't think you're going to get anything. Every school is going to look at that application to even determine the own money that they have to see if they can give any of that to you too. So we're going to go over a lot in a brief period of time. I will leave some time for questions at the end. But essentially, you complete your financial aid applications every single year that you're in school. And you can do your applications actually now. They became available October 1st. So hopefully you guys know financial aid is money to help pay for school. How much money you get can be based primarily off of these financial aid applications. And a big factor, something you want to know about, is the school's cost of attendance. Why is it important to know about a school's cost of attendance? Because obviously, and your parents need to know how much that school is going to cost. What's important to know is it's not just about the tuition and fees at that school. Every college determines their cost of attendance, and they take into account both direct charges like tuition and fees, but also non-direct costs. So those can be things like gas money to put in your car to go to school if you're a commuter, off-campus living, books and supplies, other expenses, personal expenses even. So everything that it could potentially cost a student going to college for that year. So when you do your applications for financial aid, you're going to see something called an expected family contribution. So when you're putting in your information, your parents' information, and that's going to be a component of income information, how many people are in that household, how many people from that household are going to college at the same time. It's going to use all that information to determine and calculate what your expected family contribution number is. That number is important because it tells the school what you qualify for. And basically that EFC is taken off of the cost of attendance at the school. That difference is going to show you the remaining financial need, and that financial need is going to be filled in with grants and self-help awards like possibly loans or WorkStudy to help fill in that gap. But that financial need is essentially what the family might have to come up with to help contribute towards that cost of attendance. So two different types of financial aid. There's self-help awards. Essentially, that's money you have to either pay back or earn, so loans or WorkStudy. Gift aid, that's the free money. That's the money that you never have to pay back. The federal government's going to be your largest source of financial aid, and those who complete a FAFSA application, so that's going to be those who are U.S. citizens or permanent residents. You complete your FAFSA application every single year to determine what you're eligible for from the federal government. Those are the different types of federal aid programs, and we'll kind of touch base on each one of those. The Pell Grant, that's your largest source of free money from the federal government. That's going to be based off of your FAFSA results, so that expected family contribution number. You can also be paid Pell Grant not only based off of the EFC, but how many classes you're actually taking every single term that you're in college. Your Pell Grant can go with you whether that's in-state or out-of-state, so it can go to any school that you put on your FAFSA. And hopefully you guys all know this, but you can put up to 10 different schools on your financial aid applications. So it doesn't have to be where you know you're going for sure. It can just be where you're hoping you get an acceptance. And then with Pell Grant, you can only be awarded Pell Grant when you are attempting up to your first bachelor's degree. So after you've earned a bachelor's, and let's say you want to continue on to a second bachelor's, master's, or PhD, you're no longer considered for any Pell Grant after you've earned that first bachelor's degree. There's also a lifetime limit the federal government gives you on Pell Grant. So they give you up to 600% lifetime eligibility. That typically equates to about 6 years as a full-time student. So just know, there's a lot of students who can't take a full load every single term, so you're not charged that full 100% for that award year. So that can stretch out your lifetime eligibility in the Pell Grant, but some students take a little longer to finish, they change their major a ton, so it's good to be aware of that lifetime eligibility because sometimes students do get in a situation where they haven't finished their bachelor's or even associates and now they don't have any more Pell Grant entitlement. year-round Pell. In the past, you could only get Pell Grant, and this is just as an example, but if it's at a semester school, if you're a full-time student, you could only get Pell Grant fall and spring. And then if you wanted to take summer school classes, you didn't have any more Pell Grant to help out with books and supplies. Now a student can be considered for year-round Pell, to where they're getting paid Pell Grant in that summer session as well. So that's a new change for students. SEOG Grant, additional federal aid for those who qualify. Every school has a different budget in how much SEOG grant they have. So a student might qualify for it, but might not get offered the SEOG grant just because of availability of funds. You can always check with the financial aid office at the school to see how they determine who gets the SEOG grant. Federal WorkStudy, this can be a great opportunity for students, and the first step in being considered for WorkStudy is answering yes on your FAFSA that you are interested in WorkStudy. So if you're a student who might have to work while you're also going to school, Federal WorkStudy has certain jobs that are set aside for students who qualify for it. And that could be, it's primarily your on-campus jobs, but it can also be off-campus jobs too. And the great thing about Federal WorkStudy is your employer knows you're a student and they're going to work with your schedule. So when midterms or finals are coming up or a big project, they'll be flexible with those hours. And I've been in financial aid a really long time, and some Federal WorkStudy students get jobs at the college after they've graduated. So it can look great on a resume, it can really lead to some other great things down the road. Teach Grant, this is more when you're actually in a credentialing program. If you're thinking of pursuing a career in education, there is a federal Teach Grant. The only thing with the Teach Grant is it is free money initially, but you have to agree to some certain terms in order for that to stay a grant. So students sign something called a master promissory note for the Teach Grant, agreeing to teaching in a certain subject matter for a designated amount of time, or a certain school district for a designated amount of time. And then if you don't fulfill those requirements, that grant can turn into a loan. Loans. So when you do your financial aid application, the FAFSA, you are going to qualify for federal loans. That's something that regardless of income, a student's going to qualify for. What the EFC will determine is if a student qualifies for a subsidized portion of the loan or all of it in an unsubsidized portion. As a student, you're going to be offered loans, as I mentioned, depending on where you're going to school, because not all schools offer federal loans, but the amounts you get in these loans are based off of your grade level and your dependency status. The majority of the time, the amount you can get in these loans isn't going to cover everything that you typically need. So a parent can apply for a federal loan called the Parent Plus loan. And that plus loan can be used to bridge the gap between the school's cost of attendance and what you're receiving in grants, loans, scholarship, or whatever. But if you're thinking you have to take out loans at all to help pay for school, which a huge majority of students do, you want to exhaust federal options first before looking into any private options.
Excuse me, what's the difference between subsidized and unsubsidized loans?
So subsidized loan is not accruing any interest while the student's in school, where the unsubsidized loan is.
How can they become eligible for the interest-free portion?
It's all based off of their FAFSA information. So that financial need, that EFC is going to determine that. Okay. And then just some general eligibility criteria for federal aid. Again, your enrollment in school is going to determine what you're actually could be paid in regards to gift aid. And then any male, so any male between the ages of 18 and 26, you're required to register with Selective Services. There is an option when you're completing the FAFSA to check off if you haven't registered, you can register for it while you're on your FAFSA. But if you fail to do that, you will automatically be denied for federal aid. So if you are past the age of 26 and you just never did register, unfortunately you would never then be considered for even loans from the federal government. So, and a lot of times schools will ask for verification that you did register with Selective Services. So now we're going to go into state aid programs kind of quickly too, but those are the various state aid programs. And for state aid, if you've done the FAFSA application, and again, that's for U.S. citizens or permanent residents, that's how you've applied for both federal and state aid. But for students who aren't U.S. citizens or permanent residents, but they're California residents and they're considered AB 540 eligible, they would do the DREAM Act application to be eligible and considered for state aid programs. Pell Grant, largest source from the state aid. There's 3 different types of Pell Grant. If you're eligible for Pell Grant, they look at your financial aid application and your grades to determine your eligibility for this. Biggest deadline for the Pell Grant is you have to have submitted, or for all state aid I should say, is you have to submit your applications by March 2nd. That's a crucial deadline in the financial aid world, not only for state aid, but a lot of schools in how they award their institutional aid, so their own money, they also abide by this March 2nd deadline. The SEOG grant, so for students who are Pell Grant eligible and they're taking 12 or more units, there's some additional free money that you can be considered for. Now, if you're taking more than 12 units, 15 units, there's now a new grant called the Completion Grant, where you can get even more gift aid if you are taking 15 or more units. So this is an added incentive for students who are, again, you have to be Pell Grant eligible and taking 15 or more units to be considered for the completion grant. But this is to help ensure students are graduating in an appropriate time frame. But 15 units can be a lot, so I wouldn't recommend just taking more units so you can get more free money, because you do have to complete those classes successfully to keep getting financial aid in the future.
And how can they apply for that one?
Again, just by doing the FAFSA or the DREAM Act application. That's how they're being considered for all of these.
If you guys don't know, 15 units is about 5 classes. That's a lot. 3 classes is a low, 4 is average, so 5 is a lot. But they're not familiar with a lot of the stuff you're talking about, so that's why I'm trying to give them that info.
Definitely. Okay, so the Board of Governor fee waiver, this is just specific to community colleges. So the Board of Governor fee waiver pays for classes. It doesn't matter how many classes you're taking. You can even be taking classes at multiple community colleges at the same time. If you qualify for the BOG, which is what we call it, that's going to cover your tuition and fees. You don't get the Board of Governor fee waiver at a 4-year institution. Again, it's just specific to community colleges. The middle class scholarship, this is something primarily for students who are going into a 4-year university. But for families who qualify for the middle class scholarship, it's going to be different on an individual basis as to how much they can get. Families get a percentage based off of their information on those applications to go towards their tuition and fees. There is, I think it's going to be on the next slide, but I highly recommend doing a Web Grants account. That's an account under your name with the state of California, where they track your progress on, okay, did they get your financial aid application? Have they gotten your grades? Are you eligible for any of these state aid programs? You'll be alerted first versus the school. Not so much with the Board of Governor fee waiver, but with Pell Grant and middle class scholarship. And I think, that's going to be, sorry, not this slide, but the next slide. For any student who is former foster youth or current foster youth, there is an additional grant you could be eligible for called the Chafee Grant. There is just a separate application, and that's on the website down below, that a student would have to submit in order to be considered for that. And that's money that goes directly to the student. State aid requirements, you have to be a California resident in order to be considered. And then just as a reminder, if you are Pell Grant eligible or eligible for any of the state aid programs and choose to go to an out-of-state school, that grant is not going to go with you to that out-of-state school. So if you ever are in that situation, you can contact the California Student Aid Commission and place a hold on your file, so that if you decide you want to come back to school in California after, your first year, let's say you miss home and you want to come back to a school in the state of California, you can then contact the California Student Aid Commission, let them know you're now going to be attending a school in the state, and then you can regain your eligibility for that award. Institutional gift aid, that's extra money that that specific college is going to have to put towards your cost of attendance. And that can be different depending on where you're going to school. The financial aid homepage at every single college is going to let you know how they go about awarding their institutional gift aid. And that can make a huge difference on where you're thinking of going. One school might have a higher cost of attendance, but they might have more institutional aid that they can offer to you, so you don't have as much that's having to come out of a loan or out of pocket. Whereas another school might have a lower cost of attendance, but they don't have as much gift aid to offer to you. So that's something that can be really important, obviously, in deciding where you're going to go. Okay, scholarships, that's more free money. You just have to really take the time to apply for scholarships and research scholarships. A lot of students don't take the time. And there's so much more free money out there, so I can't stress enough, now you're in a good time to do that. Okay, I'm gonna breeze through these changes since you guys are still in the process of starting the FAFSAs. And before I end, one thing I just wanna touch on is things happen in life when you're going to school that can affect your financial aid. Parents get divorced, parents lose jobs, students lose jobs. Things can happen that can impact your ability to cover that cost of attendance. Always go and talk to your financial aid counselor if anything happens where your current situation isn't the same as what it's showing on the taxes from 2 years ago. There are ways that the financial aid office can work with the family to recalculate your eligibility so that you can stay in school. We don't want financial aid to be a barrier in you completing your education. And then, are there any questions? I know it's a lot of information that we quickly went over. And we'll be back a bunch between now and March 2nd to help complete those applications. So. And then don't forget, you can put up to 10 schools on your FAFSA. So all that means is those schools are going to have access to your information. And a lot of times when you get your acceptance from that, you know, it's more so going to be your private schools, states or UCs. As soon as you get your acceptance, they show you your financial aid package so that you can compare and determine your awards, you know, between schools. But, all right. Okay, well, thanks, guys. I don't know who's coming in next.
Guys, so we're gonna stay put. Another speaker's gonna come in here. Okay, so the speakers are switching,
Okay.
right? That's what I got told initially.
Okay, I
Is
think.
that changing?
I don't know.
Really? I got told, well,
I think that somebody else is coming in. But.
Are you supposed to do it again in this room?
I don't know if I'm staying here and then going to the other room.
I'm gonna go find out.
I've been to another room and then I've been here twice.
Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? All right, I'm going to wait for the group back there. All right, let me do that again. Good morning. All right, hope you guys are enjoying your day and are absorbing all of the information that's being given to you. I know it's a lot. I'm going to begin by introducing myself. My name is Leslie Medina. I'm the College Transition Counselor assigned to Vista Marietta from Mount San Jacinto College. Just to give you a little bit of information about myself, I'm actually a California Community College graduate too. I completed my general education at San Diego Mesa College and then transferred to UCSD where I earned my bachelor's in sociology. I then went on to complete my master's in educational and clinical counseling. All right, so today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the benefits of attending community college. With a show of hands, how many of you know somebody that has attended community college? All right, awesome. Actually, about, I want to say like 70% of individuals who pursue a bachelor's degree end up taking at least one course at a community college. We actually have quite a few students from Cal State San Marcos who can't get into a particular course that come to MSJC to take those courses. So at one point or another, these students end up at a community college. So can anybody tell me one of the reasons why community college is the way to go? Money. All right. So some of us are not financially ready to go straight to a four-year university right out of high school. As you all know, the tuition costs at a four-year university, it's much higher than the community college. You're also responsible for housing, food, transportation, books, a lot that comes into play for that. So at the California Community College, you'll be saving a lot of money. For one, you're going to be staying in the area. MSJC is only 4 miles away from here. We have our our cost per unit is $46 per unit. Most of our courses are 3 units each. So you're looking at about $150 for a college course that transferred to a four-year university, okay? Our general education courses are the same as they are at the four-year institutions. We have academic flexibility. We offer daytime, evening, weekend, and also online courses at your own pace. So if you feel a little bit intimidated about college and don't want to start taking full-time classes, we're talking about 4 classes per term, you can start by taking only 1 class, and that's completely okay with us. We have personalized services, and I actually have the breakdown in a future slide. Again, we offer online courses. And last but not least, you have that second chance at your dream four-year institution. So if you apply to your dream school and you're not accepted, you have the option of going to a community college, complete your general education there, and then transfer as a junior. All right, to give you a better understanding of how important education is, I wanted to make sure I show you this slide. This right here is the unemployment and the weekly earnings based on education. As you can see, those individuals with less than a high school diploma are more likely to be unemployed and make less money. So the more educated you are, the more money you'll make, in other words. So I'll give you a few seconds to take a look at that. So for those individuals who have a professional or doctoral degree, they make about $1,600 to $1,700 per week. That's a pretty good amount of money, right? So a few of the common misconceptions. Individuals tend to believe that students who attend community college do so because they did not get accepted at a four-year institution. Again, we have plenty of highly qualified students on our campus that have decided to attend MSJC for financial reasons. Again, it is more affordable to attend a community college than it is to go straight to a four-year university. maybe they weren't ready to be on their own. So many different reasons. Community college are only for people who want a vocational training. That's wrong. Although we cater to students who are now pursuing an associate's degree and want to prepare mainly for employment, we have certificate and employment concentration programs available. We also have associate's degree that prepares students for transfer. So again, we have a wide variety of programs available for students with different educational goals. Most students who attend community college are older with full-time jobs. Actually, about 70% of our student population is 18 to 25 years of age, so that's wrong. It is not easy to transfer from a community college to a four-year university, and community college students cannot make it to a four-year university. Actually, we make it easier for students to transfer to a four-year institution, for they have the opportunity to go to a community college, take courses, and prove that they can be successful in college coursework without having to wait for an admissions decisions for months. Again, MSJC or any California community college has an open door policy. If you apply to a California community college, you will be accepted. This right here is the transfer admissions rate for the UCs and the Cal States. What's the closest Cal State to us? San Marcos is the closest. We also have San Bernardino, and the closest UC is the University of California, Riverside. Luckily for you, the transfer admission rate for all those three institutions are about the same. San Marcos has a 59% admissions transfer rate. Now, 59 out of every 100 students are accepted. 58% at San Bernardino and 58% at Riverside. So your chances at transferring to a four-year institution coming from MSJC are pretty good. Now, you have to meet the admissions eligibility requirements, GPA, make sure that you have your general education, and also your major prep courses based on the major you want to declare. So this right here is the higher institution system in the state of California. We have about 113 California community colleges. This is actually the largest higher ed system in the world. Okay, we have 23 Cal State institutions and 9 University of California, and about 76 private and independent colleges. So 113 community colleges in California. The closest to you is Mount San Jacinto College. Now, some of you may be considering Palomar or Mira Costa. We actually have lots of students who make the decision of driving to Palomar. They realize the commute is terrible. They're spending a lot of money on gas. It's taking away time from studying, and then come right back to Mount San Jacinto College. Now, the courses offered at Palomar and Mount San Jacinto are the same courses that are transferable to four-year institutions. We have the Cal State system. We're conveniently located right about here. So you guys have quite a few options: San Bernardino, Pomona, Fullerton, San Marcos, San Diego, and 9 University of California campuses. This right here is probably going to be the most important slide in this presentation. This is the California higher ed system. Again, the community colleges are over here to the left, about 113. The cost per unit is $46 per unit. Again, most of our courses are 3 units each, so about $150 per course. For your first year, if you take about 30 units, you're looking at about $1,500 for your first year, and just tuition alone. Now, if you go to a California State University, you're looking at $7,000 per year. The University of California system, $13,000 per year, while the independent and private colleges could cost you between $16,000 and $35,000. As you can see, the most affordable higher ed system is the California Community College, And again, 113 of them, so plenty to choose from. One of the benefits of also attending a California community college is that you get to set up your own schedule. Again, we talked about maybe not being ready to start at the full-time rate. So you can begin by taking 1 or 2 courses to begin with. Our semesters are 18 weeks long. Our summer sessions are actually 6 to 8 weeks. We offer daytime, evening, weekend classes, and also online courses. And remember, $46 per unit. Our associate's degree is made up of 60 units that come from general education and also major prep courses. So for the entire associate's degree, this is only the cost for the tuition, is $2,700. Do any of you remember how much it is to attend the Cal State system for the first year? $7,000. Exactly. So less than half for an associate's degree for tuition alone. So Mount San Jacinto has 5 campuses. You apply for admissions. Again, you're admitted. You get to choose the campus you want to go into. Now, we have the main campus, which is in the city of San Jacinto. We have the Menifee Valley campus, which is about 4 miles from here. We have the San Gorgonio Pass. We have 2 campuses in Temecula, and we also have online classes. With one student ID number, you can go ahead and select any of the 5 campuses or take online courses. We have about 27 Associate of Arts degrees. We have 31 Associate of Science degrees. We have certificate programs. And we also have the ADT degrees. The ADT degrees are the transferable associate's degrees that guarantee you admission to the Cal State San Marcos and Cal State San Bernardino. So let's say you're interested in completing a bachelor's in psychology, okay, and you want to go to Cal State San Marcos. What you can do is declare our psychology associate's degree at MSJC, complete the degree, and you're automatically admitted into Cal State San Marcos. Now, of course, you have to submit your admissions application, your transcripts, make sure that you meet the GPA eligibility, but the successful completion of an associate's degree transferable at Mount San Jacinto will guarantee you admission at Cal State San Marcos and San Bernardino. The University of California system also has a TAG program. TAG stands for Transfer Admissions Guaranteed. So if you meet the eligibility requirements for that specific program, you will also be guaranteed admission to one UC. So earlier I talked about personalized services. We have quite a few student services and academic support programs. To begin with, counseling services are available for immediate support. We can provide you with academic and personal counseling and also help you explore your educational goals and also help you develop an educational plan. An educational plan is a semester by semester plan of all of the courses you need to take at MSJC in order to reach your educational goal, whether that is a certificate or transfer to a 4-year university. We also have the Career Transfer Center. They're there to help you explore career opportunities and transfer requirements. At this time of year, they're actually pretty busy conducting Cal State and UC application workshops. So they help you, they go over what is required for transfer, they go over on how to submit the application, they help you with your personal statement. So if you are planning to transfer to a 4-year university, that's definitely the place to go. We also have a disabled students program and services. So if you have an IEP here in high school, what you can do is schedule an appointment with one of our DSPS counselors and explore accommodations at the junior college level. We also have the extended opportunity programs and services. You would have to meet the income eligibility, the income criteria, and this is for first-generation college students. We also have the Cooperative Agencies Resources for Education, which is part of the EOPS, and this is specifically for single parents. We have college mentors, and we also have foster youth counselors that are available to provide you with support as well. So our Learning Resource Center and Library is also available to you at no cost. You can access tutoring services. You can go ahead and use the computer, you print out documents. And we also have a Veterans Resource Center on campus. So for those of you who are the dependents of either active duty or veterans, if you want to start exploring the benefits that you may be entitled to through your parents' military service, you can go ahead and visit our Veterans Resource Center as well. So again, I am your transitional counselor. My goal here is to ease your transition from high school to community college. I will be here in the spring 2 days per week. Those days have not yet been determined, but once we figure out what days I'm going to be here, I'll make sure to let the students know. My job is to help you with the application, the admissions application, the online application. I'm here to help you complete the online orientation, the assessment, and also help you develop your educational plan. Again, your educational plan is that semester by semester plan that includes all of the courses that you're to take at MSJC in order to reach your educational goal. Also, my number one goal is for you to graduate and have a plan as to what courses you want to take at MSJC, and also have a schedule of classes already registered and ready to begin the summer session if that's what you want to do. So there are 4 steps to becoming a student at MSJC. The first one is to complete the online application. Again, everyone who applies is admitted. The second one is to complete the assessment in math and English. Now, if you're currently taking any curriculum alignment courses like English 92, Math 90, or 96, you could be exempted from taking these assessments based on a passing grade in those courses. You would have to have a B in English and a C in math. The third step is to complete the online orientation. And then the fourth step is to register for classes. Do you guys have any questions for me? So remember, I am going to be here in the spring 2 days per week. I am here to help you get fully set up as an MSJC student and be ready to take courses as early as the summer. So please do take advantage of my time here. I have had plenty of students who actually did not make it to MSJC in time to register for classes because they didn't know what steps are required. They didn't know that they never came to see me because they were probably considering other options, maybe Palomar, maybe going straight to a 4-year university. So the sooner you get set up to take courses at MSJC, the better. And you can see that as your plan B. Maybe you're not 100% sure that you want to attend MSJC, but make sure that you get set up even if you have other options. Okay, this is my contact information, my email. You can go ahead and take a picture of it if you want. Feel free to email me if you have any questions and if you need any assistance with the matriculation process. Yes?
Can you go back one slide, please?
Yes. In the spring, I will be conducting application workshops, and I'll make sure to invite you to those workshops. Please make sure you attend. Again, the number one step to becoming an MSJC student is applying. A lot of students do get confused in the applications because there are some very confusing questions. I'm here to support you with that. So whenever I'm conducting these workshops, make sure that you sign up and that you attend, please. Any other questions? Yes?
So like say we're going to a 4-year, like we plan on going to a 4-year, but like we can use this as a backup so we can still register?
Yes. So the question was if you're going to a four-year institution, can you use MSJC as a backup? Totally. This is actually the best backup plan you can have. You can, if you, let's say that everything goes as planned, you're admitted into the four-year university of your dreams, something happens, you can no longer afford it, okay? MSJC is here to provide you with all of your general education courses, and you can do so at the same rate as those students who go straight into a four-year university. So you can do all of your general education within 2 years at the same pace as students who went straight to a four-year university right out of high school. Okay? You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, so I'll leave this up for you guys. Make sure to contact me, please. Having that educational plan developed while you're in high school will help you with your registration appointment. You want to make sure that you're not at the bottom of the list. Having that educational plan will definitely help you get a better registration appointment. So take advantage of it, okay? You guys have a great day.
Guys, I strongly recommend you take a picture of her address. You will have questions later, especially the kids who are in my class. You guys, I told you the story. It's harder than you think. You will run into questions. We're going to all go to break, yeah? And then at the end of break, come back to whatever classroom, whichever one of us you're with. All right?
Very good, very interactive. It gave the right amount of information. It was, you know, so
thank you.
yeah, I thought that was awesome.
That was well done.
Oh, thank you.